Now, if you're considering a move to Dallas, Texas, understanding the cost of living here is incredibly important. Now, in this video, I'll explain what it costs to live exactly here in Dallas. What's up, guys? My name is Casey McEwen, and I'm your local trusted real estate agent here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And if you're finding this channel content on all things Dallas-Fort Worth, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. It truly helps out this channel. Now, first, let's jump into talking about housing, a major component of living costs. Now, the average price for a home here has gone up substantially here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area at $467,000, typically getting you anywhere from a 3 to 4 bedroom and 2 to 3 bath. However, the real estate market here is incredibly diverse, and prices can vary based on location and home size. With mortgage rates currently in the 6 to 7% range, the average monthly housing cost can hover about $4,000. But again, the difference of looking at a $200,000 house, which is just one of the listings that I have, kind of on the outside of the metropolitan area, but it can vary drastically compared to another listing that I have that's sitting closer to $600,000. Now, for those thinking of moving to Dallas but considering renting, the average rent for a one-bedroom apartment is about $1,300 a month, or a two-bedroom sits at about $1,800 a month. Note that these prices usually exclude utilities, which should be factored into your overall budget. Which brings us next to utilities. On average, electricity costs about $160 per month. Water is about $100, sewer and trash about $80, and gas approximately about $50 to $100 depending. And internet services, which are essentially a must, range from $60 to $100 a month. Now, when you add all of these up, you get a realistic idea of what your monthly costs are associated with housing. Now, obviously, these numbers are averages. They're going to vary depending on your lifestyle, meaning if you're living in an area with a much smaller house, your mortgage payment is likely going to be lower than the $4,000. Also, if you're living in a smaller house, your utility costs are likely going to be much cheaper than what I just mentioned as far as averages. But on the other side of the spectrum, if you're going and buying a $1 million home, that's 4,000, 5,000, maybe 6,000 square feet, I can guarantee you almost all of your utility bill averages that I just mentioned are going to be substantially more expensive. But now let's jump into grocery expenses. Now, for a family of 4, you might spend around $500 to $600 per month on groceries. This figure can vary depending on dietary preferences and shopping habits. But one thing that is great about Dallas is it offers a huge range of grocery stores, from budget-friendly options to gourmet markets, catering to diverse tastes and budgets. Now, also recently, over the course of the last year or two, we have gotten what is deemed Texas's favorite grocery store, which if you live in Texas or you're familiar with it, it's H-E-B. For a while there, I actually lived in San Antonio. It was a grocery store that essentially everyone in San Antonio utilized, but we never had it in Dallas, or really anywhere in the entire Dallas-Fort Worth area. But recently, over the course of the last couple years, we are getting them left and right. And I can tell you, it's a great place to shop for groceries. Now, using me as an example here, I don't necessarily like to cook every single meal, so I have a combination of both just grocery prices, which are generally utilized for more breakfast and lunch for me. But in my particular situation, I wind up eating out a lot for dinner. So in addition to my monthly grocery expenses, I also need to essentially expect a certain amount per month that I'm going to be spending on eating out as well. Now let's jump over to transportation, which can be a big factor in certain circumstances. Now, Dallas, known for its expansive layout, certainly requires transportation. Now, the average price right now in Dallas is $3.30 per gallon, which is actually below the national average, and Texas as a whole is fortunate enough to have the lowest gas prices as of now in the entire United States. But as a whole, Dallas as a city in the state of Texas is definitely not the cheapest option if you're looking at cities to relocate to, but we still have relatively affordable transportation. Because of the large metropolitan area, we do have tollways. Now, tollways, or expressways, if you're unfamiliar with what they are, they're essentially freeways that you as the individual driver driving on them fund them, meaning you're going to pay anywhere from maybe a quarter or 50 cents upwards to $10, depending on the direction and how long you stay on the freeway, to essentially jump on that freeway and get places faster. Now, the downside to Dallas is it's essentially built with the necessity of tollways, meaning you can avoid the tollways, but it's going to really not, at the end of the day, save you any money, because you're spending way more time and way more gas driving around the tollways than had you just paid the amount for the tollway to begin with. Now moving over to healthcare, which is essentially an unavoidable expense, varies based on personal needs and insurance coverage. In Dallas, the average healthcare cost is around $460 per month, but this will depend entirely on your insurance plan and the coverage it provides. Now, just utilizing me as an example, I'm an engaged man in my mid-30s, generally pretty healthy with no kids, but got a baby boy coming in June. But it's about $450 per month. The good news is my company covers about half of that. So out-of-pocket expenses for healthcare on a monthly basis for me is about $225. Now, the social aspect of living in Dallas includes dining out, as I mentioned earlier, and entertainment. For a typical meal at a mid-range restaurant, you might spend about $70 per person. Dallas's vibrant food scene offers a variety of cuisines and dining experiences to truly fit any budget though. Now, I will say here is definitely where I splurge. This is where I really love spending my money, I guess you could say, is on food. Now, if you are a huge foodie, I've got some good news here for you when it comes to Dallas. I may not be an absolute world traveler and been to every single possible continent, but what I can tell you is I've tried a bunch of different food in a bunch of different countries, and I am in love with the food scene here in Dallas. And also when it comes to entertainment alone, we have a ton of stuff to do, whether it be sports, comedy, entertainment, just as a whole here in Dallas. I say truthfully, there shouldn't be a day or night that you're bored here in Dallas because there is so much to do. And in reality, if you're an individual that tours for any kind of entertainment, there's a large chance that you're some point going to come through the city of Dallas. But also on the flip side, if you're more of a homebody and someone that doesn't like to splurge a lot on food or entertainment, Dallas is still a great city to live in. But please note that these costs can vary based on your specific needs and your lifestyle. Dallas offers a cost of living that is generally lower than other states like New York or California, but there are far cheaper cities in the state of Texas. Now, if you're curious about more aspects of living in Dallas and have specific questions regarding the cost of living or just Dallas in general, please leave a comment in the comment section down below or reach out to me privately on my Instagram. I would love to help in any kind of way. Thanks again for watching, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe. It really does help, and stay tuned for the next video.